I've decided to buy a green screen. So I can now be here, I can be here, I can be in my own game. I could even, be in your walls. This video is not a live stream. Have you ever thought about that? I could just be in your walls. Who knows where I am right now? Yo guys, I'm Ryan. I'm developing a roguelike, just like every other indie developer. But, you know, mine's first person and mine's finished and playable. Now, commercially speaking, financially speaking, it's been a complete flop. I've made very little. Very, very little. So at this point, I'm just making it because I want to, right? It's just a child of mine, practically, and I'm just adding more and more to it. Trying to make it better and better with every update. It's great. Now, if I was about money, right, I'd just end up going down, Steam. I'd go down the not safe for work, rabbit hole of Steam, this whole cesspool. Because there's a lot of it. There's, what, probably like 10% of Steam? 15, probably. It's pretty bad. If I ever do go down that route, I want you guys to unsubscribe from me. Unsubscribe from me, you know. That's a personal request. Don't take that lightly. And so, where am I going with this? Well, last year I decided to make a video showing off a program that I made for myself to help developing ONEIRO a little bit easier, where I could just build patterns with a really easy UI, and they would generate code for me to paste into ONEIRO, right? And someone had came up with the idea that, you know, that would be really cool as an official modding support, right? I've got bad and good news right there, right? Bad news is that I'm not going to release it for a multitude of reasons, and the good news is that I'm going to release a better version of it. So within the last couple weeks, I decided to create Project OMCT, which stands for ONEIRO Mod Creation Tool. Now, before you get your hopes up, I don't want to promise too much. As I've mentioned before, ONEIRO wasn't built on a modding foundation. Any resemblance of modding I can get into ONEIRO is a miracle in itself. So, what I can promise are patterns. Special patterns that generate around the labyrinth. That much I can do, relatively easily. Basically what it does, you make a pattern, it generates a file, and then ONEIRO can read that file. So, without further ado, let's look into Project OMCT. So this program is split into 4 sections here. We have the main one, which is the viewport. There's this one on the left. I'll call this the tools section. This is the top portion here. It has, you know, loading files. You can change the music, exit it, and you have a couple options here up here. Down here is how you save a pattern. This is the path that you save it to. This goes into the app data, local low, Zapship games, ONEIRO mod file patterns. And over here is how you decide the actual name for the pattern. So, starting off, this is how the program starts off, right? So what you can do, this is just going off of the actual letters, the WASD, and if you select a piece, you can see which side is open, right? So, say that we have this as a base for the pattern, right? This is using the creation tool, and also if you hover over anything, I know there's a lot of UI, but I made sure to put a tooltip over here. This is the tooltip box. So most patterns, at the very least, they need probably the actual pieces, they need walls, and they need openings. So if we go over to the tool section over here, we can click the walls, and you'll see that this text down here also changed. This is just telling you like all of your possible options. So like creation tool had us WADSEQX and shift. It has a whole bunch. So I can just keep clicking on pieces, and I can make my own walls for them. What if we take these away, and we go up here and we click Symmetrize X? I don't know if I spelled that right now that I'm looking at it, but if I hit W and S, it's going to take whatever coordinate this is, so 2, 0, 1, and it'll just add the inverse of whatever that is. So like, if I add a wall on the right side, it'll add a wall on the left side over there. And this is super useful for making patterns, because most of the time you will want them symmetrical. Then we go to the opening tool. An opening is, let's put 3 of these here. So if you hover over one of these, it tells you that ONEIRO will continue with normal generation in this direction. Basically, the pattern itself is man-made. but you need to eventually give ONEIRO control back over the generation. Otherwise, this pattern will always end in a dead end. Okay, so knowing that, I got rid of some pieces just to show for examples here. So let's look at the next tool, the stair tool. This will let you create a staircase, and that's it. That's all it does. This is the enemy tool, so common enemy. And right now, there's no way to control which enemy actually spawns here. This is just a visual. This just shows you like, hey, probably a slime will spawn. But just because slimes are typically the common enemy in like layer 1. You'll see that's the same thing for elite enemies. They'll just use the golem model, and it's just a good visual. So let's try the trap tool here. This is the spike traps, spike, pitfall, prevent traps, or random trap. So you can tell ONEIRO to either put in a random trap. Like if you just want some kind of trap here, it'll decide between a spike or a pitfall. Or if you don't want anything here, you can click Q and E. And if these walls are in the way, up here you can hide the walls. So this is just a symbol telling you, hey, there's no traps. Because by default, all of these will have a small chance of spawning a trap. So now, if I want pitfalls here or something, and I want spikes there, you know, it's all that. And then extras. This will let you spawn in weapons, so I can put a weapon, let's put, oh, my bad, I hit Q there. Q is to toggle the land, so this can make it so that this is a piece, and then this piece doesn't have land, this piece doesn't have land, this piece doesn't have land. So you kind of get a weird, like, just no land leading up the stairs. It's a little bit weird, but let me create some extra pieces here, for example, purposes, and we'll put a treasure here. A weapon is there, you know, and we can toggle the ceiling, and if we toggle the actual ceiling, the visuals for it, it'll show us how this looks. So we can toggle these pieces, and yeah, so there's that option. I'm even adding in this as an option. I don't know why, but you know, there's probably more options. I'm probably gonna add like 7B or 8 as extras too, and just add even more stuff for it. And this is pretty much everything I have. So like if I name this like test pattern or something, right? Maybe just test. And I can click save new pattern, it'll say saved as test.json. And this has been saved to this path right here. And then in the game, there's new menu UI that I'm working on that will let you actually use these patterns as opposed to the vanilla patterns. That is pretty much where everything is. So if you guys have any ideas for things that you want, this is of course made for the community in mind, so tell me what you guys want, and I will try to see if I can add it. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Hopefully you look forward to this, and when it does come out, maybe I'll do like some kind of a stream where I play some viewer created patterns and everything. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you in another video.